Hello, folks, and welcome back to the show. On this episode, we're pitting a guy who talks like a child against a guy who talks out of his butt. Hey, I can do both those things. But I'm not a comedy mega superstar like Mr. Adam Sandler or Dr. Jim Carrey. Jim's not an actual doctor, but he plays one in the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Call me when we get an Echo the Dolphin trilogy.
Oh.
This is a matchup of two guys we love. Even if we don't love all the movies they make, they are home run hitters, and they've been responsible for some of the biggest comedies and the heartiest guffaws of all time. Oh, and they're not bad on the dramatic side of the ball as well. They've got it all, but only one will take the top prize. Here's how we figure it out. Round 1, box office. Round 2, Tomatometer. Round 3, awards. And then we'll do a wild card round to settle the score. When rendering my decision, I promise to be a fair and impartial judge. Why? Because I can't lie! The pen is blue, and we're off to a hot start. No yelling on the bus!
You like that, old man? You want a piece of me? You want to play rough? Daddy can play rough!
Round 1, box office. Silly and goofy though they may be, Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey are phenomenal at making movies that make boatloads of cash.
Can't make the scene if you don't have the green.
They first gained critical acclaim and our hearts on television, and then would enter the box office stratosphere. For Sandler, it was the steady climb in dollars earned from early cult favorites like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore to monster smashes like The Waterboy and Big Daddy.
Time to open up some whoop ass.
All told, his flicks have grossed $3.7 billion domestically and $6.4 billion across the globe, making for an impressive $190 million average for his 34 movies.
Whoopity-doo!
Jim Carrey had a slightly different trajectory in that he rocketed to comedy movie superstardom in one year, 1994. The same year that featured a baseball strike and Boyz II Men promising to make love to us like we want them to. Also could be considered the single best year any actor has ever had. Jim had Ace Ventura: Pet Detective in February, The Mask in July, and Dumb and Dumber that December. That's a career for most people, but Carrey was just getting started. He's gone on to make 31 films that have grossed a combined $4.1 billion domestically and $7.4 billion internationally for a very impressive average of $239 million per flick. For both fellas, those averages only look more glossy when you consider the fact that they've had box office duds like That's My Boy, underrated in my opinion, and The Number 23. No one saw it, and let's keep it that way. This category sounds like an easy win for Jim Carrey, but hang on. Adam Sandler has been focused on streaming movies the last few years after signing a blockbuster deal with Netflix. According to them, films like Murder Mystery have accrued astronomical amounts of views.
Boom.
We don't have specific numbers for you because apparently Netflix's data rep is Dr. Claw. Not to be confused with The Claw.
Watch yourself, it's the Claw!
Adding in Sandler's streaming dominance and the fact that he continued to make hit movies well into the aughts, whereas Carrey's box office clout dipped considerably after the new millennium, is enough to give Adam the win in round 1. Well done, Canteen Boy.
I'll tumble for you. I'll tumble for you.
Round 2, Tomatometer. As I so eloquently stated in round 1, Jim Carrey's movie career took off like a comet in 1994. But today, one could argue he's almost as well known for what a great dramatic actor he is. It's the more serious movies that rank higher on the Tomatometer. Jim's best film, according to that, is The Truman Show at 94%. To be fair, his worst film on the Tomatometer is also a serious role, as Dark Crimes is currently stinky at 0%. But overall, Carrey's average is a respectable 51%, to Sandler's rotten 37%. So you hear my opening salvo and you say, how can anyone compete? Well, exit light and enter Sandman.
I got my lunch packed up, my boots tied tight.
He can go dramatic too, and it's his role in the Meyerowitz stories that have given him his best Tomatometer score at 93%. Adam also has a 0% on the resume, that being the ridiculous 6. I'll tell you what's ridiculous, that we're not talking about these fellas with their comedies that rank on the Tomatometer. Sandler's highest funny flicks are The Wedding Singer at 68% and Happy Gilmore at 61%.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Justice for Big Daddy. Where's that? 40%? Come on. The only good news is that I am sure it will be immortalized in Rotten Movies We Love, available now. Let's take a look. No? Okay, but that does have Billy Madison, Ace Ventura, and the Cable Guy in it. Rotten Movies We Love, now available at Walden Books in the Mall.
No way.
Carrey dominates Sandler in the critically acclaimed comedy game. His highest rated yuck fests are Liar Liar at 81%, The Mask at 78%, and Dumb and Dumber at 67%. Which begs the question, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? I'm kidding, I wouldn't do that to y'all. Let's hold our collective... Guys! Where was I? Anyway, let's hold our collective noses and go back to the rotten side of the Tomatometer. At its lowest depths is where Adam Sandler unfortunately dominates. If you combine these two superstars' 10 worst films in the Tomatometer, Sandler has 8 of them, including Jack and Jill at 3%. Who gave Jack and Jill a fresh review? Certainly not George C. Scott.
Sorry. I know. What can I do? You know, you had that, you had a broken...
Turn it off.
Look, the talking bottom line is that Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler have plenty of fresh movies, but they also made us laugh so hard in their guilty pleasure films. In this round, I'm giving Jim Carrey the win. He's on the board, and we're all tied up at 1.
Alllrighty then.
Round 3, awards. I know it sounds ridiculous to have awards be a deciding factor in a contest between Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler, but if the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences won't recognize these talented titans of titillation, I have no choice but to take matters into my own hands. Maybe stick to Sciences, Academy, because you're way off on the motion picture arts part. I don't think I fully understand how that phrase works.
What a weirdo.
Both fellas have been robbed by the Oscars in my overconfident opinion. Carrey could have easily won for Man on the Moon or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and Sandler was great in Uncut Gems. But Oscar ain't the only prize you can win if you were good in a talking picture. The Golden Globes are another prestigious night of drinking and memes, and they have recognized the greatness of Jim Carrey before. He was first nominated for Best Comedic Performance for The Mask, and he won twice for The Truman Show and Man on the Moon. All told, The Pet Detective has gathered 95 total nominations and 47 wins. So there's no way Adam Sandler can compete with that.
Now listen here, Mr. Frodo. Don't get short with me.
He's got more? Yep, Happy has 113 nominations and 61 wins. Although to be fair, none of those came from major award shows. But for Uncut Gems, he did win Best Actor for the AARP Movies for Grown-Ups Award. So that's what's in those letters that AARP keeps sending me. I'm 39, guys.
You don't come up yet. What's wrong with you? How long have you been in show business?
Sandman has also won a Razzie 3 times. Can you guess the movies? I'll give you a second. Jack and Jill, duh. That's My Boy, easy. And Big Daddy. It's a great movie. What are you? I need a therapist.
Don't be upset, young man.
I hope to keep hearing the names Carrey and Sandler in award season's future. However, for this round, it's Jim Carrey that has been winning and getting snubbed for longer, so he gets the win, which I'm sure is just as good as actually winning an Oscar. I mean, give these guys an Academy Award, if for no other reason, you know the speech is gonna be hysterical.
You love me. You really love me.
And now it's time for the wild card round, most range. We've been talking a lot about how funny these guys are while also gushing about their ability to go dramatic when necessary. But whom has the most range? And before we even take a look at serious roles, let's investigate range inside the world of comedy. Jim Carrey obviously has a penchant for over-the-top physical hilarity, as evidenced by everything from the Ace Venturas, to The Mask, to Me, Myself, and Irene.
I have exorcised the demons.
But he also showed a subdued ability to be funny and touching in flicks like The Truman Show and I Love You, Philip Morris. Even when he is really funny, he can also be a more grounded everyman in movies such as Bruce Almighty and Liar Liar.
Jordan fades back, swoosh, and that's the game!
Meanwhile, I could try to describe the different levels of Adam Sandler, but our expert researcher, Mark Hoffmeyer, they clap for him more than they clap for me, categorized Sandler into subtler subgenres of his comedic persona. There's normal Sandler, 50 First Dates, The Wedding Singer, and my personal favorite, ETC. Oh, that's just etc. He's got a lot of movie roles like that.
That was pathetic.
Yeah, I want to choke on your Spam.
And then there's Athlete Sandler, Happy Gilmore, The Longest Yard, Weird Voice Sandler, Little Nicky, You Don't Mess with the Zohan, and Man-Child Sandler, Big Daddy.
I'm here to learn everybody, not to make out with you. Go on with the chlorophyll.
And as a nice transition into dramatic range, there's Adam Sandler with a great director, as evidenced in roles like Punch Drunk Love and Uncut Gems. Meanwhile, Jim Carrey went full serious in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and went full method as Andy Kaufman in Man on the Moon. Both get major kudos for having an extensive range, but Jim Carrey gets the nod for me. Just look at what he did in his magic year of 1994, and then a year and a half later, he totally subverted audience expectations with the decidedly darker The Cable Guy. Chip juiced us up, and Jim goes up 3-1.
I don't know what all the fuss was about. I saw that movie 6 times. It rules!
And the winner is... Let me just quickly thank both these gentlemen for all the incredible moments of pure hilarity that they provided. One thinks of Jim Carrey beating himself up in the bathroom in Liar Liar, or of Adam Sandler battling Bob Barker in the middle of a golf tournament.
I'm kicking my ass!
Now you've had enough. Bitch.
All-time great laughs from two legends of the game. In the end, I would give Jim Carrey the nod because in his funniest movies, he's the main reason why we're laughing so hard. There is an asterisk next to that statement for Dumb and Dumber because Jeff Daniels, he's arguably as funny as Jim in that movie, and what an achievement that is.
Yeah, but he's kind of...
And then there's Adam Sandler, who, to his credit, is more than happy to share the wealth of laughs with his good buddies. Some of the best moments from Sandler's best comedies are from Carl Weathers, Kathy Bates, and of course, the legendary Chris Farley.
Got it on. Woo-wee!
So for being funny, talented, and able to put an entire movie on his back, the win goes to Jim Carrey. From one former Comedy Store door guy to another. But I'm just a dude. You're the viewer who has opinions that really count. Vote right now in the comment section. Type your winner and feel free to give us as much or as little context as you like. And if you want to say something nice about the host, alrighty then. I'm Mark Ellis, and until next time, bye-bye. Pretty good opera, man.